Good morning. It is really cold this morning. It's Florida. It should not be this cold. There's a long-standing debate in our household. Or not debate, just conversation, I guess. But anyway, thanks for coming back. Appreciate you coming back again this week. There are a couple things that I want to just talk about today. The first one is just a short explanation of why I am calling the channel Aging Gracefully. There are so many things out there that are called aging gracefully. And a lot of that, there's nothing wrong with those things. They're talk about how not to show that you're aging, or how to cover it up, or how to be accepting of aging, that kind of thing. All those are good. There's nothing wrong with that. But I really wanted to focus on something a little bit different than just outward aging, however you want to think about that. I wanted to talk about and really think about living in the grace of God. When you've lived for 50 years or more, 40 years, whatever, you've gone through a lot. You've lived a lot. You've experienced a lot. Hopefully you've walked with God a lot and learned about Him. You've gotten to know Him on a deeper level as time has gone on. So as I was getting to be the age of 50 and then hit 50 and went beyond that, I just was thinking a lot about the second half of life and how it really should be better, because in addition to just to being older, hopefully I'm wiser, but more importantly, hopefully I've learned how to walk with God better through life. Big things, little things, just every day. And that's what I wanted to focus on this channel, just talking about how we do that, the struggles that we have with that, because I think as long as we're on this earth, we're going to struggle with that. I think that's part of spiritual warfare. I think it's part of life, that we will continue to have struggles because we will continue to face obstacles out there, and we have to either we're going to deal with them and start all over at ground zero every time, or we're going to learn from every experience that we have, and we're going to do it better. So that's really the point of this channel, is to talk about that and try to figure it out a little bit better. But mostly just try to encourage us, because it's really not about what we do for ourselves. It's always about what God does for us. And the biggest part we have in it is just being agreeable to it and not trying to turn away and do it ourselves all the time, which is just the way we do things. So this is about trying to do a little bit better for ourselves and recognizing the power of God in our lives to do that for us. So that's what this channel is all about, and that's why it's called Aging Gracefully, because I just want to focus on how much grace God gives us every day for everything and what all that means. And as I get older and as I walk with God through different things, I'm learning more and more what that means for me, and hopefully I can share a little bit of that with you. So that's one thing today. The other thing is, last week I told you I would tell you about a journal that I've started that is already teaching me. When I started this year, I had some goals for myself, and several of them will take me out of my comfort zone. Maybe just once, but some of them will do it on a consistent basis. And I got to thinking about that a lot, about how God doesn't really let us sit in a really comfortable space for a long time, because it's easy to get spiritually lazy that way. It's easy to forget how much we need Him every day if things are always good and we're never a little bit on edge. So, I thought, God has purpose in all of that, and He has things to teach us through all of those things if we're paying attention. But it's hard sometimes. I don't remember things well. It's easy for the depth of an experience, the depth of emotions to kind of fade and get lost over time. And while I might remember the event and some of the details, some of that nuanced emotion of it is lost over time. And I don't want to do that. So I thought, what would happen if I just started keeping a journal specifically for things that take me out of my comfort zone, that scare me. What if I just started keeping a record of that and what happened and my thoughts and my feelings, and just really kind of did a deep dive into those, and then also the things that I use to help me through those, verses, prayers, quotes from people, inspirational things that I read or see, all of that, those things that help me kind of get through that. So I decided that I would, you could keep it, people keep journals in all different ways, spiral notebooks, regular journals that you can buy that are real pretty and all of that. And I do journal every day as I'm reading scripture and just having that quiet time. But this is a separate journal that I keep specifically for things that challenge me. And because it seems that I'm going to have a lot of those things, I have put them in a 3-ring binder. And I did a little artwork on the front. Found a picture that I thought was appropriate. So, can you see that? Out of my comfort zone. Okay, so that's just to make it a little fun for me as I'm doing this. But it's just loosely paper in there, and what I'm doing is I'm on each page that I put in here, I write the date and I write what it is that's taking me out of my comfort zone, what the event is or the situation or whatever. And then I'm kind of, it's a work in progress. So as I think of things, I kind of add to them. But what I've started out doing is writing down how this is out of my comfort zone, why this is hard for me. And I'm trying to be as specific as possible, not just saying, well, it just makes me nervous. I'm trying to pinpoint what makes me nervous about it. Why don't I like this? All of that kind of thing. And just be specific and just like bullet points on there. And then if there's a scripture verse that I come across that seems relevant to that, I write it in there. Or if I find a quote that is inspirational or seems to fit the situation, I'll write that in there. If I have a specific prayer about it, I write that in there. And then once it's over, once that event or whatever it is over, I write about that too. How was it different than I expected? What did I do well to support myself through that or encourage myself? Or did I talk to somebody to get help? Did I, whatever. But then the other thing too, another thing that I've added is I'm kind of trying to put a designation of a level of discomfort in there, because already I have 4 things in this notebook, and I'm getting ready to add a 5th one that I just thought about. But different levels of discomfort. Some things are mildly disturbing or mildly anxiety provoking, and other things seem all encompassing. It seems like they just take up every bit of my mental capacity. So I'm just trying to designate a level of what I'm feeling in there. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but I'm trying to do that as well, just to kind of keep track. My purpose, my thought for this initially was, I'll get to the end of this year and I'll have this lovely notebook of things that I can go back and look at and see how God's worked in my life and brought me through things, and it'll be just a source of inspiration for me. And what I've found is, we're in the 3rd week of January, and it's already teaching me some things and showing me some things that I had not noticed before. And so I'm writing that stuff in here too. And one of those things is that as I'm going back and looking at the things that make me nervous about things, or that make me anxious, or why this is out of my comfort zone, as I'm reading those things, what I'm noticing is so many things that make me nervous or stress me out are directly related to me. It's all about me. And it's not so much this situation. It's really about me and how I'm going to handle it, or me and something else. And as I was reading that, I just kind of got this flash in my head of God just saying, get over yourself. Get over yourself. You're so focused on yourself and what you can do wrong or how you can get this wrong. You're missing the point. This is not what I'm trying to teach you through this. This is not where I'm trying to take you. So get over yourself. Then the other thing that really kind of surprised me a little bit, because I pray about things that concern me. I pray every day. I'm in the car a lot for work, and that's a really good time to just pray, or as things come up during the day, I'll pray. But I noticed that these specific things that I worry about, I tend to miss, or I just kind of pray over in a general way, just kind of lump it all together, and I'm not taking my specific concerns to God. I'm not praying about them really the way I need to. So already those 2 things have really stood out, and I'm just starting. So I'm keeping this journal I'm keeping it loose leaf because I may find song lyrics or something that I want to, that really inspire me or encourage me or whatever. And I may print those out and stick those in here. So I really just kind of want it to be a work in progress. One day maybe I'll have a template for it kind of worked out for all the things that I want to add. But it's new and it's a work in progress. But already it's like God is using it to show me some things that I need to work on. And I like that. So I really do think at the end of the year it's going to be a treasure, because it already is. It's already helping me. And I don't know if that's something that would help you or not, but for me, sometimes it feels like all of life is out of my comfort zone. Every day there's something. And sometimes I just think, just like for one day, I would like to be not anxious about something, or not concerned about something, or worried about something. And I think this is going to help me. I think as I think for one thing, this is going to help me walk closer with God through those situations. And that's what I need. That's what I want. And I think the practice of that over time just builds faith stronger and stronger and stronger. I've a couple of quotes and writings that I am going to add in here that I've found are real encouraging to me, and not things that I really haven't heard before, but I tend to forget them, and so I'm going to put them in writing and I'm going to put them in this book. One of the things that I read, and this is out of the Jesus Calling devotional book, which I love. I've gone through this. I go through it every year, and every year it seems like there's different stuff that stands out to me. But in one of the recent pages, it says, anything that tends to make you anxious is a growth opportunity. Embrace these challenges, eager to gain all the blessings I have hidden in the difficulties. And then there's another quote that I found that I'm going to write. And this is from, I found this on Facebook on a lady's news feed. She had written this. It was like a memory that popped up that she shared again. And I thought, this is so perfect. It says, our weakness is a vessel for his power, and our flaws a canvas for his grace. Isn't that beautiful? Our flaws are a canvas for his grace. I love that because that's what this channel really is all about. God's grace. And learning that I really think, God says he knit us together before the world was even made. He knew how he was going to make us. He knew our strengths. He knew the flaws that he was going to knit into us, which, if you look at it like that, it's really not a flaw. It is something he gave us. It is a gift that he gave us to keep us walking close to him. So we would remember every day how much we need him. Because it is human nature, when things are going well and we feel strong and capable every day, all day, it's very easy to forget, even though we know better, it's easy to slide into that kind of mindset that we can really handle things. We're doing good. We're good. And on those days that are good, that's when we need the reminder that we're good because God let us be good. God's given us strength. All of our strength, all of our goodness is from him. It all goes back to him. So those two quotes are going in my out of my comfort zone journal, because I want to, every time and I think I'm going to put them just on the inside cover. So every time I open it, I read those. So I can remember that every one of these situations is a gift from God. It's an opportunity for me to turn to him, to talk to him about it, just have a chat with him. Share my thoughts, share my feelings, and really position myself to listen and to walk with him. And yes, to get my focus off myself where it needs to be. It needs to be on God. It doesn't need to be on me. I will let myself down every time. I will make mistakes every time. I will never be perfect. And you know what? That's okay. I have not been called to be perfect, or God would have made me that way. What he's called me to do is be obedient, walk with him every day, trust him. Trust him when I'm out of my comfort zone, which is a lot of the time. To know that really there's no safer place to be than where God has us, even when we're uncomfortable. And I think part of the problem is I'm not comfortable with being uncomfortable. I don't like it. Nobody does. But I have a choice. When I'm uncomfortable, I can sit there and think about how bad I feel or how uncomfortable I am or how anxious I am, or I can talk to God about it. And on those times when I've done that, it doesn't necessarily take the discomfort away, but it reframes it. And it gives me new perspective. When I try to deal with it on my own, it is overwhelming. It can be overpowering and all-encompassing. And it can seem like that discomfort is the biggest thing in the world, or that anxiety or that stress about something or worry about something is the biggest thing in the world. And God just says, listen, I just want you to watch me and focus on me, because when I'm in the forefront and all of the rest of that stuff is in the background, that's the perspective you need. It's all out there, but I'm standing here in front of you, in front of it, and I have a plan for you. I have a purpose for you. This isn't going to get the best of you. This is going to make you better. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to help you know me a little bit more. It's going to show people that living water in your life. And that's the whole point of this. So that's why I'm keeping this journal. I would love to know your thoughts about that. If you've ever done anything like that before, just kind of kept a list. And anyway, I will maybe refer back to that every once in a while and let you know how that's going. And in the meantime, I hope that you have another good week. I hope this week's been good. I hope that you have a good week coming up and that you just walk with God this week. There's a lot of grace out there for you today, whatever's going on in your life. Trust God with it. Talk to Him about it. That's the best thing you can do, is just start a conversation with Him. Tell Him everything you feel. And it's amazing how He just speaks to your heart when you do that and just gives you peace. And you can have that peace no matter what. So if you have, if you'd like to know more about it, you can, just leave a comment. I'll get back with you. There's an address at the end of this that you can shoot me a quick email if you'd like, or go to my website. There's a contact page, and we can talk some more about it if you'd like to. It's an easy concept. It's just not easy to do all the time. But it really is simple. It's just trusting God. It's just talking to Him and walking with Him, and being aware of the grace that He gives us every day. So hopefully you have a grace-filled day and a grace-filled week, and I will see you back here next week. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.